In this video, we're going to take a map tour of the neighborhood of North Cambridge in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Stay tuned. So North Cambridge is one of the 13 named neighborhoods that make up the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I have here on the screen the Google Maps view of the whole city of Cambridge here, which you can see shaded. And it's in the shape of a bow tie. Harvard Square is the knot. And North Cambridge is in this northwestern quadrant of Cambridge. So if we zoom in on just North Cambridge, you can see it here on the screen. It's bordered to the north by East Arlington, to the east by Somerville, and not far from Davis Square within Somerville, to the west by Belmont, and then obviously additional neighborhoods that make up Cambridge border it to the south. So it's the northernmost part of the city, hence the name North Cambridge, and it's home to, say, some 11,000 residents. It's a mix of condos, single families, multifamilies, some in larger buildings, some in smaller buildings. And anchoring the neighborhood is Porter Square down here in the southeastern quadrant of the neighborhood, if you will. And it's a commercial and transit center, a hub, if you will, for people coming and going. So it's obviously an essential element to the North Cambridge neighborhood. And let's just take a tour. So on CambridgeRealEstate.com, I have an interactive map, which we're looking at here on the screen, with various destinations that make up the neighborhood. So let's just take a tour of the neighborhood. So the aforementioned Porter Square is where we're going to start. And it's where there's a Red Line T station with subway service to Boston and a commuter rail line that goes into Boston as well as heads out to the suburbs. And there is a shopping mall as well. So here's the Porter Square Shopping Center. And it includes a Star Market for your everyday supermarket needs, a Tags Hardware. This actually is my go-to hardware store. It's on the first floor and lower level. They have a friendly staff. It's well stocked. It's sort of an old school American hardware store where you can find what you need. And they often have things that are well presented that you don't realize you want until you see them. So it's just great. And I know I'm not alone in the Cambridge Somerville nexus and making Tags Hardware my go-to. It sits next to Porter Square Books. These folks used to be out in Concord, Mass, and then they moved to this location. And recently they opened a second location in Boston. It's an independent bookstore. It's got a nice vibe. There's a cafe inside. There's a friendly staff. It's just great that there's a local bookstore right here in North Cambridge. And just in the same mall is Cambridge Naturals, which has been around since '74, for nutritional supplements and health and wellness items. I get in here on occasion for some health foods things and items. So it's a good resource. And then facing Massachusetts Avenue is this famous ramen shop. And if you find your way to the interactive map on my site, you'll see this great video with the owner who is sharing the story. And it's not uncommon to see people lined up on Massachusetts Avenue in front of this ramen shop. People come from all over to be here. So it's a really special place. I don't want to call it a hole in the wall because it's not exactly that, but it's special. Across the street is Passage to India, And I've been going here with my family for years. More recently, we're doing takeout because the world's upside down. But, it's a classic Indian restaurant that's been around for years in the heart of Porter Square. Nearby in the same block is Toad, a snug neighborhood hideaway, which, typically would be running a regular live music venue list of bands. And so we'll hope that they hang in there and they get a full list of live music soon. Next to it is Christopher's Restaurant. It's your burger bar mainstay. And next to that is Porter Square Hotel. This went up a few years ago. It's a reliable 3-star hotel. People that are coming in from out of town find this a convenient place to stay because it's got a reasonable rate. It's very well located. And within it, there's the Colette Wine Bistro, a little bit of Paris in the heart of Porter Square, North Cambridge. And you can get your steak frite here. Across the street on Massachusetts Avenue, which is really essentially, if you will, the main street as I pull back, and you can see North Cambridge from up above. Many of the locations featured in this tour are on Massachusetts Avenue, as it really serves as the main commercial avenue for North Cambridge. So across the street is Newtown Grill, which takes its name from the name that Cambridge was once known by before it was Cambridge. And it's your classic pizza parlor, neighborhood bar. Further up Massachusetts Avenue at the corner of Regent Street is Down Under School of Yoga. This used to be where Baron Baptiste Yoga was located. So you'll often see people coming and going from this yoga studio with their yoga mat. And beyond it is the Cambridge School of Culinary Arts. This was founded in 1974 by chef Roberta Dowling. And it was my good fortune when she was still alive, to meet her and to dine at her home by invitation. That was a very special night and a great memory for me. I had a chance to interview her, and she's just an amazing person. And this school continues on, the Cambridge School of Culinary Arts. And you can see the chefs in training working at a mad pace above my head here. I'm so glad that the school lives on and that they offer all sorts of cooking classes here. Next to it is the Natural Healing Center for massage. It's a family-owned operation. And then there's a No Frills Diner next to that, Andy's Diner. It's been around since 1958. It's a classic breakfast, lunch counter diner. Down Massachusetts Avenue, essentially across from where Walden Street meets Massachusetts Avenue, is Drinkwaters, a men's clothing store owned and operated by Gary Drinkwater, who you see here above me on the screen in his shop. And I have a video that you can watch on the interactive map that allows you to learn more about Gary and his wonderful men's clothing store. It's a regular port of call for me, and I feel fortunate to know Gary and to shop there on a regular basis. So it's a very special men's clothing store in Cambridge. You'll definitely want to check it out. Classic men's styling for all ages, and it's timeless. So check it out. Next to it is a Spanish immersion, preschool, the Pine Village preschool. I was talking to someone the other day whose daughter became bilingual before she was 6, and lucky the kids that get to go here to be bilingual before they know it. And then at the corner of Russell Street and Massachusetts Avenue is Massage Ultra. This is another place to get a massage. I've been in here more than once, and I highly recommend it. There's a B&B Inn up Massachusetts Avenue in North Cambridge near Haskell Street, a Cambridge House Inn. Many moons ago, my mom stayed here with a friend when she was visiting before she moved to Cambridge to become a resident. And I often remember that when I go by it. I've had some clients stay here who come in from out of town to look for property. And then on the other side is Pemberton Farms and Garden Center. This has become my go-to supermarket, and they have a great garden supply shop and nursery as well out front of the supermarket. They also have a landscaping company that actually takes care of our garden in Cambridge and our yard. So they're sort of a full service operation. And it's such a friendly staff that runs this supermarket and nursery. You know, every time you go in, you feel welcomed, and people are friendly and helpful, and they have a nice selection of items. They also do delivery. So it's just a great independent supermarket, something other than a chain. It's a one of a kind, and I can't say enough good things about Pemberton. I'm looking forward to our annual trip there to get a small tree for the holidays. So they'll have those in stock in the nursery come the holiday time. There's a bank of four, food places in North Cambridge, just up Mass Ave. Newsley 118. They sell healthy drinks, meals, snacks, and desserts. And then next to it, if you don't want to do healthy, but you want to do sugar, there's handmade chocolate and candy at Spindler Confections. And then next to Spindler is Urban Hearth, which is committed to the slow food principles and healthy eating and preparation. And then Curio Spice sits next to them with spices from all over the world. So it's sort of fun to have all four of these side by side in the same bank in North Cambridge. As we continue down Massachusetts Avenue, we arrive at Frank's Steakhouse. That's been around since '38. It's a throwback chop house. And I once had a client who I met here for a dinner after closing for a classic steak and a celebration of completing a long journey to closing. So that was fun and a nice way to celebrate a sale in the neighborhood. Further up the block is the Greek Corner restaurant. It's a place people come in to sit down to eat, but also you can get things to go. And this is a place that sometimes I find my way to if I'm home alone and just looking for something to go. And, they're, again, very friendly group that run this restaurant that's been around for a long time. It's a classic spot in North Cambridge. There is this lovely green space, the Cedar Street Playground, that's at the corner of Cedar and Dudley. And it's one of the nicer green spaces. It's well maintained. They have picnic tables and playground equipment for children and a tot lot. So it's really a nice park. City of Cambridge does a great job of maintaining all of their city parks, and this is a good example of that. The table at Season to Taste is yet another foodie destination in the city. It's a French accented prefix menu, and they also have a catering facility. So that's another nice North Cambridge destination. There is the Peabody School on Rindge Avenue off Massachusetts Avenue, which you see here as I pull back and then pull in. And it's one of the Cambridge public schools serving students in grades pre-K through 5. And in the same building is the Rindge Avenue Upper School that serves as a middle school, even though Cambridge calls it an upper school. Most of us think of it as a middle school since it serves students in grades 6 through 8. And attached to it is the O'Neill Branch Cambridge Public Library, which opened in 1902. And it's named for Tip O'Neill, who lived in North Cambridge and was the Speaker of the House in Washington, D.C. for many years, and who is perhaps the most famous one-time resident of North Cambridge, famous for his statement, all politics are local. And so this library takes its name from Tip O'Neill. I am a real estate agent in Cambridge, and I've done a number of transactions over the years in North Cambridge, and I have a link here to information on real estate in the neighborhood, so you can return to visit this. One of the larger complexes in North Cambridge is the Brickworks, which is off Rindge Avenue, as you see here on the screen. And it was built in 2005. There's over 100 units. The addresses are 314 through 320 Rindge Avenue. I've listed several units in this association. I've also been a buyer's agent for a buyer here, so I know it well. And it's set back off Rindge, and it's just an example of a larger association in North Cambridge. Pulling back again to some green space behind the Peabody School, we've got Rindge Field, you see here on the screen, which features a baseball diamond. And across Pemberton Street from Rindge Field are some tennis courts, which are open to the public and well maintained. These are hard surface courts. And then across Haskell from Rindge Field is Bergen Playground with some picnic tables, swing sandbox, and playground equipment for children. So there's just some nice green space opportunities here behind the Peabody School in North Cambridge. There is a Red Line T station at Alewife, which is located just across Alewife Brook Parkway, not too far from where Rindge Avenue ends. So for people who live in the neighborhood, they can walk down Rindge, cross the parkway, and enter here the Alewife MBTA Red Line T station with service to Boston. This is the first stop on the Red Line, or if you will, the last stop. So if you get on the train here, you're going to get a seat in the morning because you're going to be the first to board, and then it'll find its way from Alewife to Davis, to Porter, to Harvard, to Central, to Kendall, to Charles, and beyond into Boston. So this is a way for people to get from North Cambridge into the city of Boston. There's a large parking structure here as well for people who come down Route 2 who are going to grab the train to come in to Boston from this stop. And so it's fortunate for people in the neighborhood to have easy access to a Red Line T station. Alewife Brook Reservation is a green space located in the corner of North Cambridge. And it's a state park and urban wildlife location. It's actually located partly in Cambridge, partly in Arlington, and partly in Somerville. And it's managed by the State Department of Conservation and Recreation. It's been around since 1900. And it's just nice to see that there's some green space that's preserved in the neighborhood. Vox on 2 is a building that has studio 1 and 2 bedroom rental apartments right along Route 2. And many people who've been around for a while will remember when once upon a time, Vox on 2 was the Faces nightclub with a bowling alley adjacent to it. Those both came down, and this large rental complex went up in its place. On Alewife Brook Parkway in North Cambridge, near where Rindge Avenue meets the parkway, is Summer Shack, a very spacious New England fish house with lobster rolls and other classic New England staples. They've got a large parking area and they have a lot of tables. So if you go in there, you're going to be easily seated. And it's a classic New England destination for New England fare in North Cambridge. Russell Field is set back from the street, as you see here, behind Jerry's Pond and Rindge Avenue and not far from the Alewife T. And the Cambridge Rindge and Latin School, which is located in mid-Cambridge on Broadway, has its football field here, as you see on the screen, and it's where they play their games. And Russell Field is part of a larger green space that you see here on the screen. There's a field house adjacent to Russell Field. There's a pool, a tot lot, a baseball diamond, another practice field. So it's a larger green space that is found off Rindge Avenue in North Cambridge. It's sort of a place you have to get to see, and it doesn't stand out on a main road. It's sort of set back from the street. And then running along the northern, we're close to the northern portion of the neighborhood, is the Alewife Linear Park. It's a 1.3 mile long pathway. Think of it as a mixed use path or a bike path. And it connects Cambridge and Somerville to the Minuteman Bikeway and the Fitchburg Cutoff Path near Alewife. So it's just a green space that allows you, as you can see here, to travel from Russell Field through to Davis Square in Somerville, which is nice. It's just a nice green space, very pleasant to walk. As I mentioned, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm serving buyers and sellers in Cambridge and Somerville. And I'm just showing here on the screen my sales. And I've had the great good fortune of being a part of a number of sales in North Cambridge, shown here on the screen, over the years. In 2020, I listed and sold this new construction residence on Jackson Street with this classic New England front facade. Lovely home, light and bright with nice high ceilings and full-size windows. Lovely kitchen. Just a great place. It was a treat to list this home. Love the cathedral ceiling here in the bedroom. Nice bathrooms. It's rare that there's brand new construction from the ground up in Cambridge. This one even featured a delightful lower level. So very functional space, nice patio garden out back, just a great home. And then not far from it on Montgomery Street in 2021, I listed and sold a condominium on the top floor of this handsome renovated building, and high ceilings, lots of light, spacious living room. I love the skylights in the kitchen here, just amazing how inviting that is, with 3 windows over the sink with views out onto the neighborhood, which you see there. Very, very nice. Just a great kitchen. You can see there the nice views out the window. Love the skylights that bring all the light into the space. Good sized bedroom, walk-in closet, nice finishes here in the master bathroom, in-unit laundry, second bathroom, second bedroom, study, French doors connecting and opening onto the living. Just a super space, parking and some private outdoor space. Just a great package in North Cambridge. I have on CambridgeRealEstate.com a page dedicated to North Cambridge, and you can see here on the screen that I've got a link that you can click on that takes you to a list of the homes now presently for sale in North Cambridge, which is handy, and that's kept up to date in real time. I've got another video you can watch on North Cambridge. Here's the interactive map we're on that you can spend more time with. Got some nice photos here of just some of the lovely homes that are found in the North Cambridge neighborhood that make it such an appealing and inviting place to live. So let's see if I can bring myself to the fore here. My name is Charles Cherney, and I'm a top residential real estate agent here to help you buy the right home or sell for the best price in North Cambridge or another named neighborhood of Cambridge or neighboring Somerville, Massachusetts. Reach out at any time by text, telephone, or email if I can be of service. I welcome the opportunity to connect. I'm connecting with people every day from around the corner and across the globe. And it's been my great good fortune to be of service to people buying and selling in the Cambridge and Somerville area since 1999. I love the area. I know it well, and I look forward to the opportunity to connect with you. Take care.